What's up, you guys? Cam Dasani, Profit with Cam.
Brian Marckesano, New City Mastery.
We're here in Charlotte, North Carolina today because we have built businesses online individually as well as together by serving different sides of the market for the same audience, and we want to talk about what that means today. What I want to start off with, Brian, is first of all, what have we been doing this weekend, and are we a living example, or how are we a living example, I should say, of what you teach? And then I'll kind of talk about the context of how I actually met you after that.
Yeah, so purpose of the trip out here was essentially for you to experience and attend the parties and events that I put together, which is the core foundation of my process. So dating and business contacts are formed and created at the same time by hosting parties and events. And the proof that that core process works is the fact that it adds value and is the reason that you were able to come out here without it just being a complete waste of time, because all of the different connections that we can make and then the content and all these different things working together.
Yeah.
So
talk about how you've been able, because you're not from Charlotte, right? But you've come out here and literally implemented New City Mastery, right? What your Instagram tag is. Talk about how that even happened, and maybe give a little insight into how we went on a yacht party yesterday, and the yacht party that we hosted was actually so packed on the boat that we needed a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. So when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, I was moving for a job, and I started off with zero friends, zero connections, zero anything, and the only thing I had going for me was my career. So similar to a lot of my clients, I was making a lot of money and I was hitting the gym, but my social life was non-existent. So I wanted to improve on the dating side. So that's what led me to cold approaching and the dating space. From there, I learned very quickly that in order for me to gain more leverage in the dating space while also being able to make friends and improve my business connections and contacts and network, I needed something that was a little bit more robust. And that's where the whole, discovery process of hosting container parties and events came into play by being able to put together different elements, right? So, the women that I had either met online or in person, I could then, invite to come to a party and event on a boat that was through a friend of mine that maybe didn't have the access to those things. So, the whole value arbitrage play is nothing really new. That was just been my journey. So my journey was, from just the initial basic dating advice to now what's really more robust and specific to my offer, done for you systems for creating these exact outcomes. And since you had a background in the dating space, there was a lot of synergy with our core beliefs and with the different philosophies and ideologies that you've brought into, what you're doing now and stuff like that. So it makes a lot of sense for us to team up on these things now that we have two completely separate and distinct offers.
Yeah. And guys, just for context, if you've been watching me online for the last 5 years, you probably know a little bit of my history in the dating realm, right? I've helped 50 to 100 guys at this point cold approach and be very, very successful at that through online coaching as well as in-person, boot camps. With that said, cold approach is something that, got me to a certain level of dating and actually got me my first, I would say, dozens of really good results with women. But in reality, throwing social events and gatherings and parties in the way that you show me and our clients how to do so is what ultimately led me to way higher level results, way more results faster, and also ultimately my girlfriend that I've been with for 3 years.
Right.
I literally hosted a 250 person pool party at a hotel in the Bay Area where I'm from, and my girlfriend was there. Yeah. And I had frame, I had host status, and I also had communication skills that I'd already built over the course of the years.
Yeah.
So that's why when people, work with you, they also get access to my verbal game mastery just as a bonus.
Yeah.
So now that they're hosting events, they actually know how to communicate effectively with the women that are there, let alone the guys that are there, right? So even me this weekend, I've met a couple of your contacts and we have meetings set up for tomorrow for different reasons. Why? Because I actually know how to communicate with men that are actually out of my league, right? Perceived, right? And make them realize that I am actually in their league and worth their time.
Sure.
We met through, just so you guys know, through a mutual client, somebody that worked with me and then worked with him and said, you guys need to work together. Keep in mind at that point, I had already transitioned to a different side of the market for my own reasons. And that side of the market is understanding that if you don't have a vehicle to really make a lot of money, you're just selling yourself short in life, in my opinion, right? And I think that's why we go hand in hand so well, Brian, is because the social circle can create those opportunities. For example, people that come or even saw us this weekend, they now have opportunities to make money with me. They have opportunities to learn how to host events and gatherings with you or like you. And people can really build the lives they want in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I focus on building guys up from their dating and business connections standpoint, and then you help them with making more money. So I have the social side taken care of, and then you've got the money side taken care of. With your background in dating, it makes perfect sense for us to team up on this, and that's why I brought you into my community, because we're all here for the same reasons, right? There's basically like 3 categories to the good life, right? Wealth, health, relationships. Now, we're not going to sit here and talk to you too much about fitness. That's not our expertise. We got to get a fitness guy to jump in on this at some point.
Yeah.
On the health stuff, for another time. But I mean, if we can have 2 of those 3 core pillars taken care of for guys, totally done for them, that's really important. Because how many dating coaches or how many social offers are going to help you make more money directly, right? Like it's always indirect. And with me, business connections can be an indirect way for you to make money, but there's also like direct ways to make money now.
Yeah.
So maybe tell them about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple different opportunities. Here's where my wheelhouse is. Just so you guys know, I'm from the Silicon Valley, so I have a lot of connections in the software world, high ticket sales as well. And I think if you are nowhere in your career, like you literally have nothing going on, the fastest way to change that is to learn the skill of sales and work for a good company. Long story short, I have 30 to 40 companies in my network now that are hiring sales reps that are trained by me. So this is not like a coaching program. This is a job placement program. You work with me and my team train you on our process. Like I said, 30 to 40 companies in software, real estate marketing, e-commerce, so on and so forth. And once you're finished with training, you are placed in interview processes with these companies. We prep you for those interviews, we get you the job, okay? And then we work with you until you're making minimum 10K a month, because that's like that standard kind of gold number that people really want to be at to feel like they at least have some success. Now, for the people that aren't starting from scratch, for the people that already have careers, doctors, high-level tech guys, engineers, attorneys, small business owners, entrepreneurs, so on and so forth, if you're already making money actively, but you feel like you're not diversified or you feel like you're working too much for still too little money, I have something that I stumbled upon honestly by luck through another dating client of mine, an AI engineer. He's somebody's life that I changed through cold approach. He came back to me and said, Cam, I want to return the favor. I want to introduce you to one of my best friends. He's somebody that built an algorithm for Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks in the world. That algorithm made them millions of dollars a week. The reality is, though, he had to leave Goldman Sachs because he could not trade his own money using that algorithm. That's insider trading, okay? So now he leaves, he trades for himself, and he trades for a select few people a month to help them not only learn the skill of trading, but also understand that you can make way more than you ever could in any sort of career or job. Realistically, we're making $2,000 to $5,000 a day on average right now trading futures, one market. For those that don't know what futures is, it's literally the simplest way to explain it is we are predicting whether or not a stock is going to go up and down within a very small time frame and a small time window. Okay, so we're not hoping to make you expert traders. We're just hoping to make you, and not hoping, but we're doing it every day, making people good enough to just have the confidence to click the same buttons that we click.
Yeah.
And make the same type of profits.
Yeah. And that's similar to my done-for-you dating and social process, where at this phase in the game, I'm not working with guys that are completely socially inept, that need to be trained on, how to walk up to a person and start a conversation. At this phase in the game, I'm working with guys that have a baseline level of social skills, but they're probably super busy with their career and maybe have even gotten a little bit older and are realizing that it's hard to make new connections and meet the right people efficiently and very quickly. So just like with your offer, it wouldn't really be for someone that doesn't have any money or any experience with making money. They probably have some experience there. They just need systems and they need the buttons to click done for them. Mm-hmm. That's what I do with my social and dating system is I will actually physically do a couple of things. I'll walk you through clicking a couple of buttons on your Instagram. We're going to be setting up a couple of different things, and we're going to be able to actually launch a funnel and a system that's going to bring these people directly to you, completely done for you. All you've got to do then is just show up. Mm-hmm. And so that's the market and space that I think is, underserved, is like, this isn't theory. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not teaching you how to necessarily do something. You'll learn how to do it along the way, but ultimately it's hop on with him or hop on with me. Let us click a few buttons and set this up completely done for you. Let it all come to you. Learn a little bit through that process, but ultimately this is more of a service than it is like an info product. You're not just going to be getting videos, right? Mm-hmm. You're not just getting a course. You're actually getting somebody that's going to be hands-on, clicking the buttons with you and getting it all set up so that all you've got to do is spend a little bit of time on the front end and then be able to enjoy all of the benefits and fruit that come from it very, very quickly. And that's what makes the offer, different from anything that anybody's ever seen and that's ever been in the market as well. Like, if you could just basically completely outsource making more money and meeting more women and making business connections, the service to do that is right here through us.
Yeah, and I'll even say this just on that point, something that comes to mind is like people say, oh, online courses or coaches or I'm skeptical or this. Well, as opposed to what? Like newspaper ads? Because we live in the age of the internet, right? There's a reason why Facebook and Instagram are the most profitable and popular places to exchange, to buy and sell, because it's where everybody is. So if you're like, oh, online coaching is this, whatever, it's like, as opposed to what? As opposed to somebody literally walking up to you on the street and saying, hey, do you want me to give you a haircut? That would be absurd, no? Wouldn't you rather go on Google and search for a barber and look at their reviews, right? So you do that already. So you have to have the same mindset. And most people that work with us aren't thinking like this, but I just wanted to say that for the people that are. They're like, oh, well, how do I know it's not a scam? Well, as opposed to, where else do you want us to advertise in the newspaper? You're not going to read it. You're not going to see it. Craigslist? It doesn't make any sense. So what I'll say, too, is, also understand, resume is power at the end of the day, right? So there's nobody on the internet today. You'll never find a person that can actually say that their partner, meaning my partner, not Brian, but my trading partner, is a rocket scientist that built an algorithm for Goldman Sachs. Why can't you find anybody? Because nobody has done it but him. Meaning there are other people that have built algorithm for Goldman Sachs, but not necessarily people that were also rocket scientists previous to that, or prior to that, I should say. So resume is key. If you want to worry about his resume and what he's done, we'll just look at our pages and the events that we host. We use the same systems. He's not from Charlotte, okay? So you can just look and see, is what's being said true, or is it not? And you can literally see dozens and dozens and dozens of people that have worked with both of us that are seeing the same results. You can literally look at the trades, look at our P&L for my program and see, did these trades happen? Just Google the same trades. I can show you payouts to my bank account. I can actually show you $200,000 cash, physically. No trading person online is doing this. We're not doing it to show off. We're doing it to prove a point. That you can't find any cap in what we're saying at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I don't even claim to be an expert or a coach or even a guru. I'm a marketing specialist, and I've got a lot of experience with dating. I'd be willing to bet that I have more in-field experience with dating than anybody that's watching this video. And if anybody wants to challenge that, come fly out here to Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll do a little bit of a competition, however you want to do it, approaches or whatever. And if I lose, I'll pay for your trip. That's just not going to happen. I'm not a guru with dating. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit here and teach you a bunch of theories. I'm not going to try to sell you on some crazy philosophy. Again, this is a completely done for you setup and a completely done for you service that's backed by AI and digital marketing on my side. And so for anybody that thinks that it's a scam or thinks that it's bullshit, then I mean, you can just go and, you know, and check out all of the proof on my page and all the wins that my clients have every single day, where it's irrefutable. Like, it's just all numbers, it's marketing. And you can boil that down to actual KPIs and metrics at the end of the day. So, I mean, I sell a marketing system, and it's going to directly benefit your dating and your business connections. And then you've got the money system.
Yeah, 100%. And let's segue real quickly into, like, what did you do first in your life? Like, was it simultaneously like, hey, I'm getting in the gym, I'm making money, I'm building the social life? You kind of talked about that a little bit, but I want us to tell, you know, the audience your journey versus mine, because I think there's an order of operations that needs to be said and spoken about in terms of, like, where should people even start depending on where they're at?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I figured out fitness and money first. So when I decided not to go to college and I became a personal fitness trainer, I got all the knowledge that I needed for myself. And then also when I was training clients, after that, got into the sales side of things and was working with fitness studios, where I became the marketing director when I ran my first ever Facebook and Instagram ads. So I learned sales and marketing and fitness first. I didn't have a clue about dating or social circle or business networking yet. So as my career progressed, I had my fitness locked in, and I've had my money locked in from a pretty young age, because I did not go to college. And when I moved to Charlotte, again, I kind of thought that the social circle that I had from back home and my social skills that I had would translate here to a new city, and it just didn't. I was totally outclassed. I was, you know, doing well, like I said, in my career, but I didn't have, like, you know, the women that I wanted to date or the friends. And so that's what forced me to go deep down the rabbit hole with all of the social skill stuff, and, you know, watching all these videos on these ideas and, you know, tricks and tips and stuff. And, you know, after trial and error and just becoming extremely battle tested through just iterations and tons of repetition, I just, you know, started to evolve my processes with the networking, business networking side, and then the dating side, just utilizing more leverage systems. Again, hosting events, throwing parties, creating arbitrage plays between this person's asset and then my connections over here. And so I figured out a lot of the social stuff last. And, you know, now that's all I do. That's all I talk about now. So, yeah,
You said something about arbitrage and value exchange. I forgot the word you used, but an example of that would be like, oh, this guy has a yacht, but he's older and doesn't really know young people or young women, but he has a yacht. Does that mean you can bring women to that yacht? Is that an option? Yeah,
I mean, essentially, like, on a super, like, high level advanced perspective, you're just brokering deals all the time. So for the rooftop party that we did, I have access to a rooftop, so that's an asset that I control. There's DJs that have access and control to DJing equipment. There's videographers that have access and control to video and filming equipment. So I want to throw a party because I want to meet women and I want to make friends and I want to make business contacts. The videography people want to, film and produce things that are unique and different so that they can post on YouTube. The DJ wants to be filmed and have content so that they can also expand their brand. So for us to, for me to use my rooftop, for them to, come in with the camera and come in with the DJ and create a trade deal makes perfect sense. In the meantime, we all win. Everybody wins. We all get content, we all get connections, and then we all get what we want at the end of the day. And of course, the women and the dating stuff is just a byproduct because they're gonna be interested in attending and they're gonna be there, while the other guys are trying to nail them down to, go on dates or invite them to the bars. Like, we just have a higher value offer. Yeah. So, making everything align and allowing you to win all in one swing is where leverage comes into play. And that's what I think that a lot of people are looking for these days, is just the plug and play system, just the leverage, and also just do it for me and let's just get it done. Yeah. And I'll even say this, guys,
becoming really good at cold approach for me was way harder than implementing what Brian can help you implement and do for you to get the same results. Meaning, when I was 22 years old, living in San Francisco, the windy city, even though they call Chicago that, it's still wind in your face in San Francisco. And I say that because you're walking around hoping to find an attractive girl, and the ratio is 7-3, meaning for every 7 men, there's 3 women. How many of those women do you think are actually attractive? You find one, you gotta go after it, and think about how much demand she has because of the ratio, right? So it's very hard to get good. I went through a lot of pain to get good, and you don't need to suffer as much as I suffered to get the results that I have. There is a better way, which is why, like, I don't, people still come to me and want to work with me on dating, and I just send them to Brian because it's a better way. Like, I'm not grateful for, I'm still grateful for my skills, don't get me wrong. They work, but this is better.
Yeah.
And I think even like looking at value arbitrage and brokering deals and what you said, I used to take 5 women when I was single to a rich guy's table, right? And then I would network with him. We met through a mutual client. You've added multiple 5 figures a month to my business and vice versa. And now, who did I meet at your party on, what's today, Sunday? On Friday. I met a musician. We'll keep his name confidential for now because there's nothing in stone yet. But I've always had a vision for saying, hey, all these singers have songs and they have audiences and they make very little money on Spotify. People don't know that. They really make money from touring or other business ventures that they do because of their popularity. But I told this guy, I was like, hey, you don't have a product like mine, or a service like mine, I should say, to sell. Why don't I show you it? Let me prove to you that it'll work for you on the trading side. Let me make you money. Now you become an endorser of what I do. And think about how much money we'll make together. You have 900,000 followers on Instagram or whatever it is, maybe 700, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But we have a meeting set up tomorrow. How is that possible? Because Brian hosted an event that I was able to fly across the country for. Do you think it was worth it? Probably is gonna be worth it. And I've made way more other connections already here, besides what I just said. That was just an example. But the point is, guys, like, if you wanna level up and you don't have any value to offer, you need to figure out what that value is gonna be, right? So for me, it's like, I know how to get people rich. I've done it for myself. I've shown more proof than anybody on the internet ever can. I post daily trading results. I post wins and losses. I post payouts to the bank account. I post physical cash. You can't break what I've done, right? You can't break what he's done in the context of, we were just on a boat with, what was the ratio? 2 to 9? 2 guys to 9?
I don't even know.
It was absurd. We have a video of you counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's too many girls. And all the guys are high level, right?
Yep.
So it's just like,
A lot of the guys watching me are probably here for dating advice. And the best dating advice that I could give a guy is that it goes way beyond just game. It goes way beyond just being able to like approach and then like have a flirtatious conversation. You need to be getting rich, and you need to be improving your business network, and you need to be hosting, attending exclusive parties and events. That's going to take your sexual market value higher than it was previously, that just simple social skills could never, it's just not enough. That's the reality, is in today's day and age, being good at approaching and having social skills is no longer even enough.
Yeah.
And I would actually say that business connections, hosting, attending parties and events, and getting rich is more powerful than getting really good at game. Of course, I get good at the game stuff, but that's my advice. At the end of the day, is get decent enough at game that you're not inept, then focus on your business connections with parties and events, and then get really rich. That's what's gonna allow you to have options with women. And the more that you're just completely hyper-focused on women, chasing women, trying to attract them with cold approach and dating apps, the more you're just wasting your time.
Sure, I agree. And where do you think you're even gonna have more at-bats to get good at game or decent enough at game? Hosting a party with 30 women, or looking around in the town, walking around, hoping to find maybe 3 for the day? Charlotte has a lot of pretty girls. I've seen more pretty girls here than I have in one weekend than I have in months in San Francisco. It's just a reality. With that said, I want to segue and let you also ask some questions, and I'm going to ask some questions about your systems too. You're somebody that is ready to, I don't know if you want me to say this or not, but I'm going to go for it. You said you want to give me a certain amount of money to help you basically manage, right, and help you grow. What questions do you have about the strategies that I implement? And I know you've had some in the past because I have done very well in crypto. I've done very well in futures. And those are really the two things that I focus on. So is there anything that's kind of top of mind for you as we take that step in the journey for you?
No, not really, man. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Like it's copying trades.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So, I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just for context, guys, like crypto is a cyclical game. Long story short, it's a cyclical game, meaning from May 2023 to December 2024, we made a boatload of money. Then there was a big crash. We had cashed out before the crash. Now we're hitting a bull run again, and we're getting ready to win in the next 12 to 18 months. However, that's a long-term investment strategy in terms of 18 months. It's also a 5 to 10 year, multi-decade investment strategy. If you're not in crypto in some extent, you're actually not on Earth. That would be the equivalent of saying I want to meet somebody in a newspaper ad as opposed to seeing an ad online. I've spent $100K plus on people that I've met online. I don't know how much he has, but I know he's told me about the investments he's made. So you have to be in crypto, okay? I shouldn't say you have to, but you should very much be in crypto if you want to make long-term money and see your dollar increase, even if it's just as simple as buying Bitcoin, okay? If you're just gonna buy Bitcoin, wake up in 10 years, you're gonna be happy. I've done it since 2018. I've made over 400 grand, okay, just on Bitcoin, okay? Second step is trading futures for daily profits, okay? They're high risk, high reward trades, but here's how we take the risk away. This is for people that are already making money and have 5 figures in the bank. Okay, you need to have 5 figures in the bank or this is not gonna matter. If you have 5 figures in the bank, here's the trick. You don't take that and just hope it goes well in the futures market. You take that and invest in people like myself who can help you get access to prop firm funding. What that means is a prop firm is just a company that gives money to good traders. Well, you're like, well, I'm not a good trader, Cam. Don't worry. Just like Brian will make you good enough to win, I will make you good enough at trading and then help you get the funding, prove that you're a good trader by copying us, get you funding, and now you can copy our trades. And you're gonna make way more than 5 figures. We make 5 figures a week, okay? So it's just a matter of time. Once again, it's too good to be true. You're online, As opposed to what? The newspaper? I'm going to say it again. Where should I be so you guys can see? Here, on camera, on YouTube, on Instagram. This is where I should be. Like I said, my partner is a rocket scientist that built an algorithm for Goldman Sachs. Nobody else can say that. I'll say it again. I can prove that to you on a Google Meet screen share. We can go on LinkedIn and look at the records. I can show you 200,000 cash on the spot. Physically, not in a bank account, not in a screenshot. I can literally take it and show it to you. I can show you an $18,000 watch. What else do you want? I don't have much more to say.
No, yeah, I mean, I think just to put a cap on it, man. Yeah, level up your money, level up your business connections, level up your dating, find done-for-you systems, quit relying on theory, quit watching videos.
About NoFap.
Yeah. And yeah, get the help that you need from the people that are in the trenches serving clients all day, every day.
And ultimately, the people that where you want to be. Like, who are you getting advice from? Your parents that don't have the life you want? Your friends that think other things are a scam, but they're also poor, or they're also not getting girls? Look at the life of the person you want and ask, do you want it? Or do you want a part of it? And go learn from those people. Doesn't have to be us. We're just telling you what we've done, right? But the easiest way to find those people are online. They're not your neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Online gives you a stretch to the globe. It's made me a lot of money. It's made me a lot of connections. It's how I met Brian. It's how I met the client that introduced me to Brian. We're living proof. Mm-hmm. If you want to find us, Profit with Cam on Instagram and YouTube. Profit with KAM.
New City Mastery, Instagram and YouTube.
Talk to you guys soon. We'll see you in the DMs.